Hey everybody, Dirili here. Thank you so much for joining me for my 27th audiolog. I actually have a lot of things to say in this audiolog, for once, and this is going to be a longer one, so I'm going to mark times in the video and put them in the description in case you want to skip to different topics. So my topics are, number one, my appreciation to you all, not just the normal thanks, and I'll tell you why when we get to that. Number two, the activity on my second channel. I changed the channel's name, and that ties in with some things I've been doing with that channel and also things that are going on in my personal life. Topic number three is my recording quality, personal integrity, and goals that I just want to talk about a little bit. Number four, I want to give some recording tips to other narrators. Not that I'm a pro, but I think I have some tips that could help out a few people if they're interested in making their recordings better. And, maybe I can't help them. Maybe they already know the things I'm going to say. But I'm sure there are some people out there who haven't thought of the things, at least one or two of the things that I could mention. So I'm putting it in there. And number five, speculating on some upcoming otome games. Alright, so first things first, number one, appreciation. Like I said, not just the normal thanks that I give you all the time. Well, not all the time, but I try to thank you guys a lot, because I really am grateful. I was looking over my past video activity, and I realized that so many people watch and respond to my audiologs, sometimes even more than my regular videos, and it just really hit me that a lot of you really do care and interact. And a good amount of people aren't just solely here for the material. And even though I haven't gotten to talk in depth with a lot of you all, I've had some conversations with some of you through the comments and things like that, and I've really enjoyed that. And I'm hoping it also means that some of my wishes come through in my work to make people happy and to try to do some positive things in the world and make my videos as high quality as I can, at least on the main channel. And well, one of my biggest things is trying to popularize otome games, of course, but, and personally, I think that's a positive thing. But, basically, just you all have made a big impression on me by listening to what I had to say outside of just the entertainment factor of the channel. And I appreciate all the understanding and encouragement that I've gotten from all of you over the months. It's been truly inspiring and motivating for me. I might not have even kept going this long if it wasn't for all of that from all of you. Okay, so on to the next topic, about my second channel. I've talked about it a few times, so most if not all of you probably already know about it. I changed the name of that channel, though, to Dirili Quickies from Dirili Unedited and Unprofessional, for reasons I'll talk about in a minute. I started that channel because my sister had surgery and was out of work for a while, and even now she's still on light duty, so she still can't be terribly active at the moment. And this is a little bit selfish of me because I was like, yes, she can't do so much else, so I can make a bunch of videos and she'll have time to watch them. Because she wants to play all these games too, but much like me, when I was doing other work, I didn't have time to read the games, but she has time to listen to them, because she's been working at home sometimes, so she can listen to the videos while she's doing work at home. So with this channel, initially they were supposed to be unedited and unprofessional because I was just reading for her, and it started out that way, but after a while I couldn't take putting up such terrible material anymore since other people started watching them. So I started putting more time and effort into the videos, not as much as on the main channel, but, I started putting more time and effort into them than I was when I first started. Just enough that I don't sound like a complete idiot, and the videos aren't completely trash with really flat reading. And plus, I really wanted to make at least the first few videos of any new games decent, because I wanted to make the best advertisements as I could for them, as I try to make the games look as appealing as I can. Because, like I said, I'm trying to make otome games more popular, so I don't want to just advertise them with these really horrible videos where I'm just reading very flat with no emotion or anything like that. So, although the first video is always the hardest because I'm trying to establish the voices and all that, so I don't feel like I'm doing as well as I want to or as well as I should with them, but I'm doing my best. I also plan on putting videos of other games up there, since I figure, well, I'm playing them anyway, so may as well upload them. Like I did 2 We Happy Few videos, but then I got distracted with all the new Dogenzaka games that popped up, and, I had a plan, so I do plan on doing more We Happy Few. It's just that I want to get some big bulk projects out of the way first. The one thing I just really love about doing the second channel, though, is that even though I hate putting out lower quality work, I love going through the stories closer to the pace that I actually read and play games at. I didn't really like when I was on the main channel doing 2 videos of one game and 3 videos of another game a week, because I don't play that way in real life. It kind of takes me out of the story, having so much time in between episodes. When I read myself, I tend to read like every day for 3 or 4 days straight until it's done. So reading games like this on the second channel is more enjoyable as a personal experience, since I feel a little more immersed and I'm not dragging out the story and spending days in between readings where I forget what happened the last time I was reading already by the time I start reading again. Because, I'm old and I have a bad memory. Plus, another reason for me wanting to do the quickie readings is that I've had my channel up now for over 10 months, and the way I was reading before, I wasn't making any headway. I wasn't making any progress, really. I would have to abandon the idea of certain projects. I've been meaning to read Hakuoki and Sweet Fuse from the very beginning when I first started the channel, but it seemed like I kept getting farther and farther away from them. So I'm thinking I can finish Office Lovers and My Butler within a week, and then there's one more shorter title that my sister really wants me to read for her, and then I'm going to give the biggest focus to Hakuoki until that's finished, and then Sweet Fuse, and then finish Nameless. And with that, everything I've been planning to read for the last year will finally be complete. I cannot wait. And yeah, I'm working insanely hard once again and being totally exhausted, but I have to do this now because it's quite possibly the very last opportunity I'll have in my life to have this connection with my sister before things go back to normal. For various reasons, too, that I can't get into because I can't just tell other people's business to the world. Oh, and there's also the issue of the stupid weather. I never expected it would stay this hot and humid for so long because it was milder at the beginning of the summer, but the sealants that I use are too sensitive to heat and humidity, so I couldn't really do any artwork until things cooled down, even though I really wanted to, because I needed to make some money. But I've just been having to live as a starving artist for the last couple weeks because I can't really do anything. So hopefully I can get the majority of this work done by the time the weather is conducive to actually doing profitable work again. Alright, so on to topic number 3, quality, personal integrity, and goals. Although, I wrote this audiolog kind of quickly, so I'm not sure if I'm really coming across properly with everything, and I definitely didn't fit all the details I wanted here, but this would have been like an hour-long audiolog anyway if I fit everything in, I think. I just hope I'm not coming across as arrogant or bad or anything with all this. But, and this topic ties into topic 4 to a certain degree, but anyway, before I actually get into this topic, I want to say again, I said it before, but I'm well aware that I am no professional. I do things to the best of my ability, but I'm almost 40 years old now, and I've always been a quiet person, so I haven't actually used my voice all that much over my lifetime, so I haven't trained it over my life. I really appreciate all the very kind people out there who have told me they enjoy the sound of my voice, or that they like my voice acting, but as far as professionalism goes, I know the qualities that a real voice actor should have, and I'm very aware that I fall very short of them myself, because I'm a big fan of good voice actors. And yeah, I'm under no illusion that I'm anywhere near as good as them. I've been very critical myself very long of the English anime dubbing community because, they finally started getting better over the last couple of years, but in the beginning, it was just awful. And I don't understand why the Japanese did so much better with their voice casting than the English. I guess it's just because anime just wasn't very big over here, but for the longest time, they didn't bother to really cast well in English voices. But now they're starting to pay more attention to it. But that's a little bit off topic. I'm having the hardest time organizing my thoughts on this topic really well, though. Like I said before, I couldn't stand to keep posting really bad videos, so I just had to start making the ones on my second channel better since more people started watching them. So that's why I changed it to Dirili Quickies rather than Dirili Unedited and Unprofessional, because it's not unedited anymore. I started editing them because I just couldn't stand it being so bad. But it's also a matter of the satisfaction that I get from doing things to the best of my ability. Like when I would do artwork, I would do all these little refinements to pieces to the degree that when I sold them, in the end I would make maybe $1 or $2 an hour for the labor that I put into them. But that wasn't really an issue for me because it was all about me being satisfied with the finished piece. And that was all that really, really mattered to me. I guess things would be different if it wasn't for the fact that I have family to support me and all, and I'm not exactly living in poverty. if things were that bad for me, I would probably be a little bit more concerned about making money, but at this point, I'm not so much. I'm more about the passion of art. I guess I can kind of afford to be. I mean, it's not like I have a whole lot of money to live on. It's just that I'm low key. I'm not high maintenance. I don't need a whole lot of luxuries. I don't have a smartphone or anything because I don't go anywhere. So I don't have a lot of unnecessary expenses in my life. But as much as I would like to perfectly refine the videos on my second channel, there's just not enough time unless I wanted to devote the rest of my life to it, which I really don't. There are other things I want to achieve in life, so I had to try and balance between quality and speed. And even though I've been upping the quality on the second channel, I've still been unhappy with the quality of my readings overall lately. Even on the first channel, really. Not hearing quite as much feeling in my readings the last few weeks when I edit them, and I've been having a lot of trouble with clickiness in my voice and some problems with my tongue, which I can only guess are because of chemical imbalances from changing my diet. I don't know what's causing it. It's driving me insane, and it's really frustrating. And I've done so much research, and I'm trying to do what I can to get back on track, but it's really hard for me, and sometimes it starts to draw me into the depression, but then, like I said, you all have helped me so much to keep my spirits up with your comments and encouragement and everything, so I don't know, it's like this roller coaster. But that's, life with a lot of other people too. Oh, but also along this point 3, the whole thing about trying to make otome games more popular also. One of the reasons I'm pushing so hard here is because I'm turning 40 at the end of this month. So I will officially be over the hill, and that's really depressing too. I've been waiting so many years for otome games to grow, but it's not happening fast enough. So I figure if I want it that badly, I've got to do everything I can for a while if I'm going to see much happen before I'm wearing frigging bifocals to be able to read the games, or even more likely, I'll probably die of old age before the kind of games I really want even come over, if they come over at all. So to that end, well, as most of you probably know, I've been putting a lot of time and a lot of money into this. And I always knew that I'd be putting more money into this than I would ever get back. If against all odds I would ever turn a profit, I planned on putting the money right back into the effort. But that's definitely never going to happen. I'm never going to get to that point. You actually have to have hundreds of thousands of views a day on your YouTube channel to make any amount of money worth mentioning. So I've definitely been hugely thankful to everyone that's contributed on Patreon, as you all in particular have helped me the most in my quest to make otome games a bigger thing in the West. I know I could just learn Japanese and read things by myself, but it's not nearly as fun to read these things and have no one to talk to about them. The few people that do English reviews of Japanese otome games, I rarely agree with their opinions, and I don't have the same taste as them at all. I know one person so far that I could possibly enjoy talking to about these kind of games I enjoy, but still, that's to say, I prefer to have more games in English so that I can have more people to talk to about them and enjoy them more. So yeah, initially the idea was that I was going to put 2 years into this. 2 years into trying to help out the otome game industry. And then we'll see where things go from there. How I feel about doing the work, and if it's helping, or if the industry wants me to stop. I mean, who knows? You never know. Sometimes companies decide, oh, we don't want people to put videos of our games up anymore. Like Nintendo did stuff and all. You never know what the companies will decide to do. Things change all the time. So there's a lot of factors involved. Alright, well anyway, on to topic number 4, recording tips and future tutorials for other narrators. I plan to make some more extensive tip and tutorial videos later on, but for now I can give a few simple, shorter tips in this audiolog. One other hope that I had when I started reading otome visual novels was that I would inspire other people to do the same, like how there are all those creepypasta readers out there. I mean, this isn't something that I plan on doing the rest of my life, and I would like to have other people out there to listen to while I'm working on things. Unfortunately, as many of you listening already know, I have a severe depression and anxiety problem. Sorry, there's going to be a short tangent here, because I want to explain why I want to give these tips right now, because it's close to my heart. What you may not know is that, although my anxiety is primarily social, it's also strongly linked to sounds, and many sounds trigger panic attacks in me, so I can only listen to very professional narrators. If you know anything about psychology, you know an anxiety can become generalized and associated with other factors. For instance, if you're tortured every day by a guy wearing a purple shirt, you could actually start to fear purple shirts. And that's just a very simplified, generalized example, but, you get the idea. And it's a long story, but suffice it to say that after 9 years of being bullied in elementary, middle, and high school, my social anxiety generalized and associated with a lot of various sounds. Now, if you're not familiar with panic attacks, they can mimic the symptoms of a heart attack. I get short of breath, my chest tightens, my heart starts racing and pounding, I feel nauseous and dizzy, and basically I feel like I'm going to die half the time. Symptoms can be different for different people, but that's what it's like for me. The biggest triggers for me are incessant noises like sniffling, throat clearing, coughing, slimy mouth noises, microphone popping, tapping, clicking, etc., though there are a number of others. My attacks are so bad that if I watch someone's video and it gives me a panic attack, I can't bring myself to ever go back to that person's channel and try watching a video again. I can't even listen to most of my own videos, especially my old ones. I half want to delete my old videos sometimes, but some people still enjoy them, and I guess it's a good testament for other people to be able to see how when you start a channel, it can be really crappy, but then you learn and get better. So I guess it can be inspirational to some. It sucks, though, that I only really started to make progress in getting better more recently, so I have a lot of really bad videos, and just some good ones that I started making more recently. I did bad videos for so long before I figured out some of the better tricks. Anyway, the point is, the things that really set me off are generally things that no professional would have in their recordings anyway, so I thought maybe I could help some people who are considering doing recordings with a few tips that I picked up over the 10 months I've been doing this so far. I also really hope to someday see more people take pride in their work and actually do things to better themselves and try their hardest to make really amazing bodies of work out there. Like, the narrator that I admire most is Creeps McPasta, who is a creepypasta reader. He has this gorgeous British voice, and even when I listen to his old videos, he does have the problem with clickiness and mouth sounds, but he's perfect now. I mean, he's really learned, and he's done so much to better his videos and narrations. And there's a handful of others, but not very many, because I have so many sound issues that there's so few people I can listen to. But I'm really hoping that more people will be like him and actually take that kind of pride in their work to, like I said, better themselves and try to be the best that they can be. Because people really take notice of that too, and that's how you become more successful, by taking pride in your work, and people admire that. So here are some of the things that may not have occurred to some of you that are considering recording or are doing recordings that may help you to improve your audio quality. Number 1, if you don't already have one, get a clickless mouse. I think a lot of people just don't even know they exist. They're inexpensive, and even if you get a 100% noise reduction mouse, they'll still make some noise that the better microphones will pick up on sometimes, but it's far better than the loud clicking of a normal mouse. Sure, mouse and keyboard clicking don't bother everyone, but it bothers some people like me and drives a certain percentage of listeners away. Once a person notices it, they just can't unnotice it, and it really gets in your head, like a lot of other sounds. Once you notice it, you just can't stop noticing it. So I've tried 4 clickless mice so far, and the best one I found I'll link in the description below. I really like this one. In fact, I want to buy like 1 or 2 more of these because, nothing is made forever, and I want to get a couple more before they stop selling these someday. Alright, so tip number 2, watch out for microphone pops. These occur generally when you blow a puff of air into your microphone while making P or F sounds and such. Like, let me try to do it. Making P or F sounds. I'm not sure if I succeeded or not, but if I did, you'll have heard it. And there are several things you can do to avoid this. You can speak slightly off to the side of the microphone so that you aren't blowing air into it when you talk. You can sit back from it a little so that your breath isn't reaching the microphone. Or you can get a pop filter, which are also very inexpensive. You could usually get one for like less than $10. But those pops can actually be pretty painful on some people's ears, so I'm really surprised there are some people that still record a lot of videos and constantly pop. Alright, tip number 3. Try to be aware of mouth noises and clicks in your voice. This is the bane of my existence because my voice has lately been particularly clicky, and I have to reread over and over again to get a decent recording. This is the biggest reason that I can't listen to most people's videos too. The vast majority of people are unaware that they have clicky voices or that they have a lot of slimy mouth sounds when they're speaking that are getting picked up on their microphone. Mostly you have to experiment and learn how to move your lips and tongue in certain ways to reduce the sounds, though it can help to back away from the mic if you're sitting very close to it, like 1.5 feet or 2 feet away is a good distance if that's the issue that you're having. But if it's not that distance, then it's other things and you have to try other methods. But I'm talking about like you can hear the slimy sounds in my mouth when I'm talking like this. Yeah, you hear those? Alright, and my last tip for recordings is for Japanese pronunciation. I guess this one is more of a plea, but I know there's lots of people out there like me who just can't stand it when people consistently badly mispronounce Japanese names when they're reading a lot of Japanese titles. It's actually quite easy, and I'm surprised that there aren't more people who have made that bit of effort to do this. I mean, half the time with a lot of games, they're voiced, and all you have to do is listen to a line in the game to hear how the person's name was pronounced. But besides that, I can give you 2 really easy tips to pronouncing Japanese words more accurately. Most importantly, the vowels are always pronounced the same. It's not like in the English language where you pronounce vowels differently depending on where they are in the word or if you combine them with another vowel. It's always like this, and you have to look on screen for this to see the letters. A, I, U, E, O. That's how those vowels are always pronounced every time you see them. A, I, U, E, O. Thus, a historical figure like Toyotomi Hideyoshi, Toyotomi. Like some people might want to say Toyotomi. No, not Toyotomi, Toyotomi. And Hideyoshi, Hideyoshi, not Hideyoshi. And Mahiro, Mahiro, not Mahiro. And although Ikeda and IKEA are spelled rather close, IKEA is a Swedish word, and it is pronounced nothing like the Japanese Ikeda, because like I said, I is pronounced E, so Ikeda. And my second tip for reading Japanese words, according to my Japanese language instructor in college, unlike the English language, the Japanese language does not stress certain syllables in words. For instance, like I was saying, Mahiro, some people might want to try to stress certain syllables or group the letters in certain ways, like Mahiro, but no, it's Mahiro, so it's Mahiro when you read it. All the syllables should be equal. That's not to say I don't mispronounce things myself, though usually it's because I'm reading too fast and slurring, or I'm just not paying close enough attention. I mean, hell, I say the wrong word sometimes when I'm reading things, plenty, just English words. But I do make the effort, and if I'm not sure about something, I try to find a line where the name is pronounced by another character, if it's a voiced game, or sometimes I even look online to try to find the correct pronunciation if I'm having trouble. So I hope that more people would try to make that kind of effort. But like I mentioned, I plan on doing some more tutorials later on, and I could give more tips and get more in-depth with things, but that'll take some time. But for now, moving on to the last subject, subject 5, speculating on upcoming games. Now, I just wanted to do this because I realized something about Dogenzaka. As many of you may have noticed, Dogenzaka Lab has released a plethora of games this year, all from the Forbidden Romance series, bought over from the mobile series. But there are now only 3 games left in that series. And at the rate that they've been going, I imagine that those 3 games will probably be out by the end of the year. And I'm wondering if they're going to start working on any other series once they're finished with those. But I'm not sure. They haven't really said. They said they plan on coming up with original titles, I think. But they haven't really talked about that much. At first, I wasn't sure if I wanted to read all of these last 3 that are available, but I kind of have different reasons for being curious about each of them. And by the way, they are all mobile apps, so if you wish, you could also already go play them right now on a tablet or your phone. But the first one is Dangerous Relationship, and to me, the art on this is rather mediocre, but just the fact that the word dangerous is in the title has me interested. And the premise is that you're a newbie in show business, and you become a celebrity's girlfriend. I'm hoping this means that there's actually some danger involved, since danger is in the title. And I'm going to be disappointed if there aren't at least a few life and death situations in there. Number 2 is Stalking Love, Secrets of Me. I don't like the art for this at all, but the premise sounds kind of amusing. You get plastic surgery to attract the guy that you like, but then you find out that that guy cons women into marrying him. Then you end up meeting some hot guys and decide to stalk them and steal them from their girlfriends. And this just sounds hilarious enough for me to maybe possibly get over the art. Then thirdly, there's My Famous Lover. And this one I think is one of the prettier looking games, or at least their title screen is. Though the guys do look a little younger than I prefer. Unfortunately, the premises doesn't sound that interesting to me though, but the art has me curious. So I think I'm probably going to play that one more likely than the other ones. But you work at a perfume counter, and your suitors are 5 hot, somewhat successful guys. Like from their descriptions, they weren't like super famous or super rich, but fairly successful. And that's all that's left in the that particular series. Like I said, I wonder if they'll move on to any other series out there or not. Because that's by D3, and I think D3 has other titles. So it all remains to be seen as to what may come over later on. Well, that's it from me for now. Like I mentioned, I'm going to be working hard for the next couple weeks on hammering out those few titles, and then I'll be re-evaluating things again. So, thank you all again for joining me. I really appreciate it. And I wish you all health, happiness, and safety. Dirili signing out. Bye-bye, everybody.